right, well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to the Canadian Taxpayers Federation's 20th Annual Gas Tax Honesty Day. My name's Wudrick. I'm the Federal Director. We have this event every year just to highlight the high cost of gas in this country. This year, particularly timely, gas prices are spiking across the country, especially in places like Montreal and Vancouver. We've released a new report today that shows the highest prices in gas in the country are in Montreal and Vancouver. And that once again, the reason for those higher prices is the difference in tax. On average, Canadians pay 33% of the price at the pump is different types of tax. And we have decided to put forward this illustration that shows what will happen if carbon taxes are imposed on the existing tax prices today. You can see the middle bar, the first bar shows the current tax prices in Canada today based on current taxes. The second bar shows the price of gas, average price of gas across the country, if carbon taxes rise to the maximum of the federal backstop, which is $50 per ton. And the third bar here, the very, very large bar, which shows gas going over $2 per liter, this would be the price of gas if a carbon tax of $300 a ton were imposed. That is the price that the federal government's own department says would be necessary to be in place for Canada to hit its Paris Accord climate change target. So we think it's a very important issue. We are calling on the federal government to offer some relief at the pump in the form of eliminating the federal excise tax on gas. That's 10 cents per liter. We think this is a reasonable ask given the price of gas and given the fact that highways and roads are generally a provincial responsibility and therefore they are the jurisdiction that should be charging those forms of taxes. That's all for now. I'll happy to take any questions.
How much is the federal portion?
It depends on the province. It is about a third. Third of the average price, the average tax take is federal taxes.
How much money, revenue could be lost by the federal government if they got rid of that tax? I imagine there's a lot of cash in the coffers.
Yep. Yeah, you're looking at $45 billion. It's not chump change, but another way to look at that is it's $45 billion left in the pockets of Canadians. Canadians are paying that right now. They have repeatedly said that cost of living is a very high concern. So leaving that money in the pockets of Canadians, I think, is a wise policy choice.
So is it 68 cents, you say, when the carbon tax hits its highest point, would be 68 cents more than
that would be if it rises to $300 a ton. The federal government has said they'll go to 50, but the department has said in order to hit the Paris Accord targets, you would need a carbon tax price of approximately $300 per ton.
So maybe you're talking about the Ontario version of the trail. Do you call on provinces to secure their gas taxes, or might there be issues with that because, as you pointed out, a lot of those taxes end up going for infrastructure funding and issues like roads, etc.?
Yeah, as you probably heard, Doug Ford has promised to cut gas taxes in Ontario by 10 cents. We support that move largely on cost of living issues. Ontarians have said repeatedly that gas is very expensive. It is a daily expense for people. They see it every day. They struggle to make ends meet. And look, it's no secret that we prefer spending reductions, so we don't think that they should finance a tax cut with deficit spending. But they need to figure out where they're going to reduce that spending in order to make ends meet.
You encourage other provinces to take similar action to what Doug Ford is proposing?
Yeah, look, I think we can't get around the fact that these bread and butter issues are a big deal to a lot of Canadians. They don't have enough money to go around, and when they see gas prices going to $1.40, $1.50, $1.60, it is a big bite out of their monthly budget, and something needs to be done about it.
So the point of the carbon tax is also to change people's behaviors to try and deal with the issue of climate change. Prices going up is supposed to be a deterrent to using your car, therefore helping the environment. So why is that so wrong when that's the whole point and goal of the carbon tax?
Well, look, I'd invite the government to answer then why they won't go to $300 a ton. If they are understandably worried about the idea of Canadians seeing $2 a liter, that's because it'd be too expensive for a lot of them. The other thing to remember is, for a lot of Canadians, if you live in a city, you may have the option of switching forms of transportation. A lot of Canadians live in places where there is no alternative other than to drive. And so simply imposing a higher cost on them is not really going to result in as much behavioral change as you might hope.
You mentioned Vancouver and Montreal have the highest gas prices in the country. Who have the lowest gas prices?
The lowest right now, Manitoba and Saskatchewan. It's a gap of about 30 cents in some places, quite a large gap.
Why is that? Because they are more rural provinces where you would expect people to be using up more gas to get from point A to B.
Well, the discrepancy in prices is almost entirely due to the different tax rates. So the base price of gas is very constant across the country. It is the different forms of tax levied by different levels of government that explain the difference in prices across the country.
I've exhausted my questions.
Yeah, that's good.